Hey there, Calvary. It's good to join you in your inbox today, one day closer as we head through Holy Week. It's Good Friday today. So the scripture is Luke 23, verses 1 to 43, which is that chunk of scripture where Jesus is brought before the authorities and is accused of many things, and they are encouraging Pilate and Herod to crucify Jesus. And then he takes the journey to the cross, and the sign is hung above him that says King of the Jews. And very familiar passage, so you may need to read it a couple of times, perhaps in different versions, for something fresh to stand out for you. I know that I needed to do that. As I was reading the scripture today, the thing that really stood out for me was the humility of Jesus. People are throwing accusations at him, are trying to get him killed, and are really attacking his character. And and he doesn't speak back. He doesn't try and correct the things that they are saying that are wrong. He doesn't stand up for himself. I don't know about you, but if I were in that same position and if people were lying about me and bringing me in front of the authorities and certainly trying to get me killed, even for less than that, I would be standing up for myself and saying, that's not true. What you're saying isn't true. And I would be bringing before me the things that would prove that they're wrong, and I would bring people with me that would say, see, these people say different things about me, and I would put a case together for myself and try and prove them wrong and prove myself innocent. But Jesus didn't try and prove himself. He had nothing to prove. He was able to be strong in knowing who he was, and knowing who his Father is, and knowing what the overall purpose was. And because of all that, he was able to remain confident and calm and strong and not try and prove himself. It also struck me that because of that, perhaps, but even when he didn't try and prove himself, other people figured it out. So Pilate and Herod initially said, there's nothing to condemn here. I don't see anything that we need to punish. And yet they listened to the crowds. The women who were weeping as Jesus was walking up to the cross, they knew that something wasn't right, that this wasn't right. And one of the criminals who was on the cross beside Jesus, he too knew that Jesus had done nothing wrong. And Jesus promised him a place in paradise. He saw through the accusations, and he knew that they weren't right. Not because Jesus was proving himself and standing up for himself, but he saw it. So this leads me to the declaration for us, for me, for today, that I don't need to prove myself. And so my declaration is, in Jesus, I am calm, humble, and confident, even in the midst of chaos and conflict. In Jesus, I am calm, humble, and confident, even in the midst of conflict and chaos. Happy Easter, friends.